You're listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour. If you miss any of the program, you can find the podcast at the bottom of the page at sunnyradio.com.
Give yourself a little credit.
I've been telling you about BetterCreditCards.com for a few years now. I'd love for you to take a few minutes today to check out the website. Who knows? You might find a better credit card, one that offers a better rate, or a credit card that offers cash back, airline miles, or other points and perks that can help you. Check it out now.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to BetterCreditCards.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit right now with Pete from Groove Drumline. And you guys are going to be drumming up some pancakes this weekend, aren't you?
Actually, we're drumming up waffles. But yes, it's going to be a fantastic fundraiser. We start at 9 and go till noon. And all 7 of our drum lines are going to play from the teeny little kids in Genesis, which range in ages from 4 to 7 all the way up through the Farside Drumline, which is made up of some of the parents and staff members of the kids in the group. So it'll be a great time of waffles, sausages, and drums.
I love it. And this is happening at the WH Lyon Fairgrounds, is that right?
Yeah, we'll be in the Armory building on the north end of the fairgrounds, and we'll open the doors around 8:30, and then food starts around 9, and then the first performance is at 9:15, and then it's pretty much every 30 minutes after that, 9:15, 9:45, 10:15, 10:45, all the way through the end. So
I love it. Now, the Groove Drumline has been around a while. When did that all get started? Do you know?
So Groove started in 1997. It was originally called River City Groove down in Sioux City. And then in 2000, we moved the organization to Sioux Falls because I was from Sioux Falls and most of the kids I was hauling down there were from Sioux Falls. So at that point, it seemed to make more sense just to base it out of Sioux Falls. And then over the next 7 years, it grew from just a summer drum line that had about 15 kids in it to 100 kids. Wow. And that one drum line turned into 5 drum lines. And then over the next 10 years, we added a couple more drum lines. And now we're up to like 165 members, I think.
I think that's awesome. And I've seen you guys perform many times. I don't know which drum line, if there's 7 of them. I saw at least one of them perform at different events here and there. But what are the age groups for the people in the drum line? Like, what are the youngest members and what are the oldest members?
So our signs say 4 to 64. We don't have anybody 64. I think probably the oldest playing person would be either myself or a couple of the other parents who are getting very close to 50. But most of the kids in the groups are the ages between 5 and 21.
And if somebody would like to get involved, if they're going, hey, this is really cool, I'd like to get involved, what is the best way for them to get more information? Come and get waffles on Saturday and get the info there? Or what's the best way?
Yeah, I mean, you can just Google Sioux Falls Groove, or you can just put in Groove Inc. Drumline, and it'll come up pretty much anywhere in the world. And then, or you can come eat some waffles and support the fundraising efforts for the organization and see some of the drum lines. So it starts with the little kids and goes through to the older kids. So depending on your age and what you're looking for, you'd want to come early or in the middle or towards the end, depending on what age group you're looking for.
Very, very nice. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat. I was scrolling through Facebook earlier this week, and somebody had shared this, and I'm like, hey, I want to see who I would talk to about this. So, and I thought pancakes. I apologize. It's waffles, so I remembered that incorrectly. I'm getting old. I can't. Pancakes are good. Waffles are good. It's all good, and I think it's going to be a blast. What time does it start Saturday? What time does it end? And what is the best time for people to be there?
I would say come sometime a little bit before 9 a.m. and it goes until noon, and there'll be 6 or 7 drum lines performing almost every half an hour, starting at 9:15. But the waffles will be served the entire time, so you can eat at any time throughout the morning, and it's at the WH Lyon Fairgrounds. So
very nice in the Armory building. Pete, thank you so much for your time, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, Pete is with the Sioux Falls Groove Drumline. They're going to be at the fairgrounds with Waffles this weekend. I'm going to throw a link on our Facebook page to make it really easy as well. Facebook.com/SunnyRadio and Facebook.com/Sioux Falls News.
Insurance. It's important to have insurance, but it's more important to have the right insurance. After all, if you're not covered, it's like not even having insurance. Make sure you're covered for whatever claim might come your way with InsuranceChicken.com, helping you peck out great insurance deals in your area. You need insurance on your car anyway. Why not get great rates for great insurance from InsuranceChicken.com? That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit right now with Tom Henderson. We're going to talk about the ResGenMens Summit. It's coming up on February the 3rd. Holy cow. It sounds like it's a long ways away, Tom, but that's going to be here before you know it.
Well, listen, what do they say? They say that the days are long and the years are short, right? And sometimes it just feels like that, but all of a sudden you look back and you're like, how did we arrive here so quickly?
Yeah.
But yes, we're gearing up again for what we think is going to be our biggest men's summit of the year. Well, ever. I mean, let's be real, ever, because, we had over 1,100 men last year, and 12 simulcast sites. And this year we'll easily top the 1,100. And I think we're up to about 20 simulcast sites. So we're very excited about seeing how it's grown.
It is so cool. And for folks that have never been to this, I've been to, I think, all of them, if not all, just about all of them. And this is something you definitely want to see. It's an amazing event, and it is so much fun. And when you walk out of there, you're going to feel like you got $10 million worth of stuff because you've got so many great speakers each and every year. And I always think, man, I'd hate to be in your shoes, Tom. How do you top this next year? And I'm looking at the list right now, and you did it again, man.
Yeah, it is a question I get really almost within minutes after the event ends. People are like, how are you going to top this next year? That exact same question, John. But you know what? Each year stands alone, and we just fully believe that it's who God wants to bring for that year. And this year's theme, John, is all about being a man of courage. And it's going to go from 8 a.m. to 1:30. And as you mentioned, we've got 5 dynamic speakers and then a comedian this year. And, we've got David Pollack, college football analyst, was on a college sports analyst from ESPN College Game Day for 12 years. Ryan Leake, who's an executive coach and author, unbelievable communicator. I'm just telling you, he's unbelievable. He's easily worth coming out the day of for. Jeff Strucker, who was actually portrayed in the movie Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
Was a Black Hawk helicopter pilot and an Army Ranger. He's going to be sharing. Chris Brown, who is an unbelievable communicator and storyteller, pastor from San Diego. Sean Reynolds, a very gifted comedian, is going to provide some moments of levity and sustained laughter for guys. I like to call it mental recess, if you will, as we just get to laugh together. And then I'll be sharing a message as well.
It's always a really fun time. I have met so many wonderful people there as well. There's some people that I consider good friends now that I met them sitting at ResGenMens Summit, and we start chatting, and they go to a different church than I go to. So, and they work somewhere different than I work, and they live in a different part of town than I live in, but we're all together in this room, and we get a chance to meet people, and you learn stuff, and then even during the breaks, it's positive because you're meeting new people. So it's just such a fun day. Thank you for putting your heart into this.
Yeah, well, that's one of the joys of it, to be honest with you, John, is connecting dudes with other dudes, because so many times we just get so focused on our schedules and our calendars, right? And we just we move at a fast pace, like almost at the speed of light. And when we can kind of slow down, even just for that portion, 5.5 hours, and connect with other guys, it's a shared experience. And this year we're going to even make a more purposed attempt of trying to get guys to say, hey, we want you to connect with each other and not just say, hey, we're going to get together after this, but actually make a plan. And give them a resource to say, look, you're going to, so that you can gather together and debrief and talk about all the great content, because we want the content to live on. Otherwise, if we just come to the event and hang out, it's good. But man, let's go and now let's put some stuff into action, because that's how change really happens in our life, in our families, and in the community.
I agree. I love it. If somebody listening is going, hey, you got my attention, I'm kind of interested in this ResGenMens Summit thing. It is Saturday, February 3rd, 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. How do I get a ticket to join you and be a part of it that day?
Yeah, super simple. ResGen.org. That's ResGen.org. You just click on the Men's Summit, and then you can pick whether you want to join us in person or via live stream. It's only $35 to come. I mean, we're just giving the thing away because we don't want finances to ever keep anybody from coming. But that being said, if $35 is something that's too tall for you right now, just with everything going on in the world, and that, man, please email me through the website, and we'll make sure that money is not the reason you don't get to join us.
I love that. Restoration Generation is what ResGen stands for, and this is an amazing organization based here in Sioux Falls. How long have you been around, Tom? It's a bit now, isn't it?
Yeah, we started it back in April of 2010, and the first several years was all focused on teenagers. In fact, 20 years of my life was spent investing in teenagers all over the country. But then we just saw what God was doing through specifically the Men's Summit, which has then launched into so many other things that we do year round, specifically for men, for marriages, for parenting, now in the corporate space. So it's been really fun to just see how it's morphed over the last 13 years. The mission has stayed the same, but the different vehicles and the methods have changed as time has gone by. But we're really excited about where we're at right now.
It's wonderful, and I'm excited to see you on February 3rd. Thank you so much for all that you're doing, sir.
All right, my friend. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Tom Henderson, and he is with Restoration Generation, the ResGenMens Summit 2024. February 3rd, 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. All of the details at resgen.org.
What could you do with an extra $129 a month? In this economy, every penny counts. So an extra $129 each month would absolutely help. Well, 97% of us have a cell phone, and the average person pays $144 a month. Mint Mobile can help you save a mint. At just $15 a month, that's an average savings of $129 each month. It's time for a Mintervention. Switch and save today. Get this special offer at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Time now for This Day in Sioux Falls History, brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun Page, West Sioux Studios, and Sunny 93.3. It was on this day, January 25th, 1965, Nils A. Boe is elected as governor of South Dakota. There seems to be an aversion across the state to politicians from Sioux Falls. In our entire state history, from 1889 up until now, only a few statewide elections were ever won by people from Sioux Falls. In fact, just two governors from South Dakota have actually been from Sioux Falls, Joe Foss and Nils A. Boe. Although Dick Knipe and Bill Janklow and Danny Dugard were from the surrounding area, they were not from Sioux Falls proper. As our second local citizen to win the governor's seat, Boe championed cutting property taxes and improving workers' education, preparing South Dakota for the 21st century. Boe served as a state legislator and lieutenant governor before running the state. He also held many high-power federal positions after his governorship came to an end. He was the first director of intergovernmental affairs, a justice on the U.S. Customs Court, serving as the court's chief justice for 6 years, and lastly, he had a seat on the U.S. Court of International Trade. In 1971, with the help of his two surviving sisters, Lois and Borghild, Nils would make an even greater impact on Sioux Falls history than he did as governor of South Dakota, when he developed an endowment at Augustana College for the Center for Western Studies. This endowment created the Boe Forum on Public Affairs, an annual event inviting world-renowned speakers to the Augustana campus right here in Sioux Falls. Nils Boe, through this endowment, has been responsible for bringing high-ranking American politicians to town, including Madeleine Albright, Colin Powell, President George H.W. Bush, Newt Gingrich, Al Gore, Barbara Bush, Sandra Day O'Connor, and more, while also pulling in international heads of state and world leaders like Mikhail Gorbachev, Queen Noor, Desmond Tutu, Vicente and Marta Fox, and many others. Sioux Falls will forever be indebted to Nils A. Boe for his contribution to our community. This Day in Sioux Falls History has been brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun Page, West Sioux Studios, and Sunny 93.3.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-310-5831. 800-310-5831. That's 800-310-5831.